When a man's life is threatened, how will he treat his classmates? The answer is to clear all obstacles. Zhang Fentu is on the verge of death, looking at the murderer with reluctance. The figure leaving in a hurry, recalling the first day when roles were assigned. He was lucky enough to become a doctor with a special profession. Seeing his classmates die one by one, Zhang Fentu hurriedly, use the privilege of immunity from death on yourself. But don't want to have your sweetheart executed by a werewolf the next day. When he wants to use the privilege again, the system prompts that it must cool down for 48 hours. No wonder these days. He is so depressed. The third night. Zhang Fentu overhears Junxi's promise to play with books, Junxi's commitment to playing books. So when the other party claimed to be a werewolf, he did not hesitate to use the privilege of avoiding death on Junxi. Use death-free privilege. This is kind of like the doctor. The one time it really worked. And the Wanshu here is still looking for Game Master clues. She went again to the utility room where she found the photo. Found the photo album in the safe. Actually disappeared. Suddenly the system beeps. Zhang Fentu died. His profession is a doctor. Everyone rushed to the scene. There were several obvious signs of fighting. Wanshu concluded that he was killed, rather than being punished by the game. After Junshi and others moved the body away from the scene, Wanshu habitually started to collect clues. The shoe prints in the corner must be photographed and recorded. At the same time, she also picked up a rubber mat on the ground. It was probably left by the murderer. Then the murder weapon was found not far away. At this time, someone discovered, on the wall where the police left a message, there were 2 more rows of text. It said Junshi and Shueba were both werewolves. Some people thought this was reasonable. Calculate the time police, just enough to use the skill twice. However, this contradicts the previous message, saying that Junshi is a civilian. Obviously one of the messages is false. To confuse everyone's judgment, the scumbag Allah immediately stepped forward to tear up the message, and suggested that everyone take out their mobile phones. Let him personally confirm who has used the privileges. Wanshu on the side quickly interrupted, said that he had found the murderer of the split head, and then took everyone with him. Arrive at the place where Huang Mao died. The bloody footprints here are exactly the same as the footprints at the death scene of Zhang Fentu. It means that the same person killed them both. Junshi recognized this mat. It was glued on the sneakers to enhance bounce. Everyone turned their attention to Allah and curly hair who love to play basketball. Just look at their souls, and you will know who is the murderer. Allah simply took off his sneakers. There was no elastic pad attached to the bottom. The remaining curly hair was so panicked. He kept defending that he was not the murderer. 2 boys took off his shoes forcibly. The bottom of one of the shoes was indeed stained with elastic pads. The sharp-eyed playbook also found the wound on his hand. Now the curly hair could no longer quibble. He instinctively wanted to drag Allah into the water. The latter said the wrong thing in a hurry. Didn't you hit him with a brick? Pipe. Playing books and catching roommates at the same time. They never said the murder weapon was a brick. And the crime scene. There are also shoe prints without elastic pads. That person is undoubtedly Allah. Now he has no way to quibble. I can only vent my resentment on curly hair. Junshi stepped forward to start a fight but also received a punch. His anger is rising. A heavy hammer was given to Allah. Everyone finally separated. A few people suddenly saw a red paint pen on the ground. Curly hair was also shocked. He didn't know what he had on him. How could he have this? Allah quickly stepped forward. He insisted that the extra writing on the wall was left by curly hair. Only a werewolf could do this. Things that undermine unity. Junshi was not led by him. Said that Allah was also one of the murderers. Decided to lock up the 2 of them first. Everyone discussed who to vote for. Akai jumped out of the crowd. Asked Allah to hand over the supermarket key. What if he ran away? The deputy monitor stepped forward and touched his pocket. Who knew the key was not on the other party's body? Roommate Junyuan reacted quickly. Proposed to take away their mobile phones, so that they would not worry about them escaping. Those who did not vote at 12 midnight would be forcibly executed by the system. Everyone present must still remember this setting. It must still be fresh in my memory. Although Allah and curly hair are not willing. But it's hard to withstand public anger. I can only reluctantly hand over my phone. After locking the 2 in the room, Akai and the deputy squad leader quietly found the top student. Suggested a few people to cooperate. Obtained a Lee's supermarket key. Because the rolling shutter door can't even be opened with an axe. It's the best place to hide at night. And the caring person here helped Junshi treat the wound, but accidentally saw the iodine on the table. Isn't this what the police used when leaving messages on the wall? Night fell in the blink of an eye. Everyone sat together to determine who to vote for. They still hoped to be able to determine who was the werewolf between Ale and curly hair. The deputy squad leader suggested not to return the phone. Let the 2 murderers die together. Junshi felt it was inappropriate. If a civilian was killed by mistake, everyone would be at a disadvantage. The deputy squad leader suggested again. The deputy monitor suggested again. Let the police stand up and use investigative skills. Wanshu immediately spoke up to object. The identity of the police must not be exposed. Otherwise they will be executed by werewolves tonight. Curly hair and Allah, who were locked in the room, glanced at the wall clock on the wall from time to time. It was really uncomfortable to wait for death. Seeing that it was almost 12 o'clock, Junshi and others finally discussed the outcome. For the sake of safety, He asked everyone to find a hiding place first. Go and return the phone to the two of them. Unexpectedly, the top student took the initiative. He and Junshi each gave one. Everyone didn't think much. Started racking their brains to find the hiding place. This is the only way to prevent being executed by werewolves. It didn't take long. Junshi opened the door and returned the phone to Curly. The other party got it as soon as possible. Just vote for Ayla. Who knows the next moment? The mobile phone rang with a series of beeps. It turned out that everyone voted for Curly Hair. This is the result of their discussion. Because Curly Hair's behavior is even weirder. He is killing people and pretending to be a policeman. On the surface, he is more suspected of being a werewolf. Curly Hair felt aggrieved instantly. He said that he was framed. But such a pale excuse. How could Junshi pay attention? On the other side, Alla also learned about everyone's choice from the top student. He secretly thought that it was a good idea. It turned out that the message on the wall was written by him pretending to be a policeman. Later, he used a paint pen to frame Curly Hair. It seems that it is always right to have an extra layer of insurance. Alla was about to ask the top student to get his phone back. But he didn't expect Akai and the deputy squad leader to walk in at the same time. They had obviously discussed it long ago. Said to hand over the key in order to get the mobile phone. Ali's eyes were about to burst into flames. Unexpectedly, the top student who allowed himself to be bullied in the past. Now he actually learned to threaten. But he quickly suppressed his anger. He led a few people to take out the key from the fire cabinet. Then he said in a pleasant manner, asking the top student to hand over the phone quickly. The latter took Alla to the door of a room. Alla was confused. Let the top student help him get his phone back. Unexpectedly, the other party became extremely tough. He was not the one who was anxious anyway. Alla was about to go crazy. Stritted in and picked up his phone to vote. The top student took advantage of the opportunity to enter the room. And used a prepared stand to hold it back. Trapped in the room, Alla cursed loudly. No matter how hard he tried, the door did not move. At this time, the system beep sounded. Curly Hair with the most votes was about to be executed. He panicked and wanted to escape from the room. But the next moment he felt a splitting headache. Then his eyes turned white. He jumped directly from the balcony. The system beep sounded again. Curly Hair's occupation is a civilian. Junshi was stunned when he heard the news. Unexpectedly, everyone had made a mistake. The steps on his feet did not stop. He went straight to the top floor of the building. Jumped. Tumbled into an inconspicuous pit. No one should be able to find him hiding here. But at this time, Alla was not so comfortable. The dead Curly Hair was a civilian. Then he will become a key target of suspicion again. In fact, the bloody axe and coat were also framed. At this moment, the top student came over with a bag of things. His expression was extremely complicated. Thinking of the scene where he was bullied by Alla. Asked the other party in a hoarse voice. How does it feel to be teased by this coward of his own? How could Alla endure such teasing? Just when he was about to finish off the other party, midnight was just around the corner. It turned out that the top student had already calculated the time. Alla quickly fell to the ground and fell asleep. But he acted like a normal person. It turned out that the top student was the hidden werewolf. Who knew the next moment? Alla actually stood up. The top student hadn't figured out the situation yet. The top student hasn't figured out the situation yet. The other party fell down again. It turned out that it was just the result of his strong support. The top student's face was full of pride. Now Alla has become a fish on the chopping board. He wants to torture the person he hates the most. The above is the content of the 5th issue of Nightfall. Friends who like it, remember to continue to pay attention. See you in the next issue. See you next time.